Wife of the party today is my sister-in-law, Kottie, and her friend, Sam, and they have a new podcast called Don't Worry About It. Don't worry about it. You can find it anywhere you find podcasts, Spotify, Apple, anywhere you find podcasts. These two ladies have been friends for a long time, probably close to 17 years, and they decided to do something for themselves. They're both moms and started a podcast. Kind of sounds like the reason I started my podcast. But they're funny and they're fun. And they're in the thick of parenting, and they talk about parenting and marriage and life and just whatever is on their mind. And I had a great time talking to them today. It was really fun. I love my sister-in-law. I love both my sisters-in-law, but I love Kottie, and I've known her friend Sam for a long time, and I love Sam too. So we talked about parenting. We talked about podcasting. We talked about creativity, about how they met, how their friendship started, why they're still friends. Hard parts of parenting, and, a bunch of stuff in between. So thanks for coming back every week. You can go to birdieboyproductions.com and click on the Wife of the Party, the WOTP tab, and send me an email if you like. And I appreciate all your emails and comments. I read as much of the comments as I can. I read all the emails, but I can't respond to all of them. But I do appreciate them. Thank you very much for coming back. So I hope you enjoyed this week's episode with Kottie Kreischer and her friend Sam. And check out their podcast. Don't worry about it. How are you so skinny, Sam? Is it just genetics?
I'm not.
You are.
I'm not.
You are. You look amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
You have 3 kids.
I think it's because I have like a fitted something on my waist, which I don't normally do. But no, thank you. I will take it. I'm not like at my skinniest.
Well, who is? I mean,
No one is.
I'm not like, my skinniest was, I was 16 at my skinniest, right?
But you're like petite, so I feel like you're never going to be like big.
Untrue.
Really?
Completely false.
Really?
You know what? I have an optical illusion body. From the front,
yeah,
I look amazing.
Yeah.
The minute I turn to the side, you go, oh, shit. That's no bueno. And then you see my back and you go, oh, man, I'll take my body any day over that shit.
I'm the opposite. My front is just gross.
No, mine is.
And trust me, you're better off having the side be gross than the front.
I don't think so. Because you see someone looking at you front. You don't see the people behind you going, oh, my God.
I know. I wish I could look in myself from behind, though, because I don't know that your like perception of is accurate.
Oh, it
it's
is.
You.
No, it's 100% accurate.
Okay.
100%.
Based on what?
Absolutely.
Photos?
Yeah.
Okay.
My photos are a bitch.
Oh, but they don't, not so bad from the front. From the front, I go, okay, I got it going on. I look like I work out. From the back, I go, looks like I eat a bag of Lay's every day.
No way.
Yeah.
No.
It's part of it's genetics. Part of it's just how you're built.
Like both my parents are smaller than me, so I guess genetics.
They are?
Yeah.
But they're like, have you seen on Instagram, it's like a thing about boomers who like don't eat anything? It's like a thing. We always make fun of my mom because she'll be like, oh, you're ordering a whole sandwich? I want to split this tangerine with me. Like literally, I'm like, dude, like I think it's a thing. Some of them just like have no appetite, or do they all have eating disorders? I don't know.
My dad would eat that couch. My dad eats anything that doesn't eat him first. So that's for sure not my dad.
Yeah.
He eats, he plows. But your parents kind of don't eat a whole lot. Well, your mom does, but your dad.
I need that on a bumper sticker.
But dad has like an eating disorder.
Your dad is hysterical because he'll go, I'm not ordering anything.
And he'll just consume everything.
I'll just have
left over.
one piece of fish. And then he eats off every plate he can touch.
Always?
If he can reach it.
Growing up, he never ordered dinner. All of us would order, and then he'd finish everyone's plates.
So make sure your mic is like right about your chin. Always put it down here so I don't see it.
Yeah.
So it can be really close.
Our mic situation needs desperate
so
help.
we can.
It's like
so I can
like
hear you
hanging off of a ledge, and you're like,
it's on too small. It's like a table
it's on, like,
smaller
one of
than
those,
that,
like hanging.
and it's like and it's too heavy for the table. So you're like, don't want to. Yeah,
these
that's
lovely things.
Yeah,
my dad and my daughter built.
That's amazing.
Epic.
And
do I have one?
Can you have one?
No. Yeah, can I take them with me? I like them.
Yeah,
Can I have one?
Can I have one? Well, I can build you one. My dad can build you one.
No, I'm saying, do I have one over here?
You do.
Okay.
But Isla insisted that mine be pink, but Bert's are like stained dark wood, and you don't even notice them.
Yeah, is
there
like a market that like, is there like a niche in the market that like is not being filled?
I think so.
Yeah.
This doesn't, we couldn't find anything like this.
That's what they say. That's what they were saying though, that they've like been outfitted by like, like they've consulted experts who do podcasts, and it's like we need something that we don't have.
Well, it just needs to be comfortable. What we discovered last week, we finished our podcast on Friday, and then we went out to the parking garage, and Samantha's like, yeah, you haven't been in your element lately. It's like, no, I haven't. I've been off my game.
Why?
I'm not comfortable.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
You mean in the podcast space?
We in our space. We need to judge it. We need to
like
sex it up a bit.
Where is it?
This is great. I'm blown. Wow. How long has this been like this?
I did this in January.
I mean,
so we bought the house in October.
Yeah.
And then November, December was all about Bert's studio.
Yeah.
Because I had to get it ready by a certain time.
Where were you doing this before?
At our house. Yeah. And that my room that was the studio before is now basically her parents' room when they come to visit. So the same wallpaper.
It looks so good.
Oh,
the ceiling, everything. It's like a hug.
Yeah.
Right? It's like a hug.
It is. That. It's like I just never want to leave.
Well, thank you.
No, it's very soft and comfortable.
We might need your input.
It's very me.
Yes.
Yes. It's very me. And,
yes.
And Bert I can't really take a whole lot of credit because Bert, when he started podcasting, he was like, all these guys are at a table.
Yeah.
Sitting at a table in a bar height chair.
Yeah.
And he was like, I want you to feel like you're in my living room because then you forget that we're talking.
Yeah.
And you're just, now you're just talking.
Yeah. And a lot of them also, not just ours, feel so stark and very sterile. You're it's white and there's a random plant, a fake plant or something sitting there.
Yeah.
We got to work on that, Kotz. But anyways, in your defense, beyond our space, you had before this last time, you had Mike on, and I think you just went dark.
Why?
Yeah, it was just he was in a weird mood. He was just in a weird mood.
It was
just off, Yeah.
And
we were in the middle of searching for houses and not agreeing. He's got his heart set on this one house only.
Mm-hmm.
And until that house is either swept up by an influencer or a YouTuber,
a specific house.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You are
designed by God.
You are going to have to pry it from his dead, lifeless hands.
Wait, where is this house? I mean,
he really wants you to go see it.
Have I seen the pictures of it?
Yeah, maybe.
The one that Bert went to see with you,
close to an apartment building.
Pictures. It's not a great walking neighborhood, but a great home run house with a big backyard.
So So anyway, right before that, literally the night before that, we walked and saw a house south of the boulevard. Ventura, walking distance to Erewhon, Sportsman's Lodge, that whole area.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
And the house was totally fine. But it's he's closed-minded now. Until that house either sells or we buy it, he cannot have an open mind in seeing other homes. So that night before we did that podcast, that was the headspace.
So we got stuck.
Yeah.
We got stuck. We stepped in it and we couldn't get out of that. I was like, okay, we got to move on from this.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What were you intending to talk to him about? Did you have any plan or you just
I had a lot I wanted to talk to him about.
Really?
Because we talk about him
a lot.
Obviously, we talk about Duran too. Yeah. I mean, because we're touching on life and kids and marriage and all of that. But yeah, he hadn't ever listened to them. Duran's listened to all of them.
Of course he has, because he's Duran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course he has.
Mike's like, what's this podcast
He's
called?
like, what's the name of it? And I'm like,
you follow us. I saw your follow request or whatever.
Yeah.
But that can't be a surprise. Mike is such a doof like that.
He's such a
doof. He'll
Can
be
we
like,
say that?
oh wait,
I mean, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bert's on tour? And I'm like, dude.
He'll walk into the house and be like, where's Bert? And you're like,
on tour.
Yeah, wake up, dude.
You've
cleaning
been here
the basement. What do you think?
You've been here for 17 years. What the hell,
floors.
man? He's just a doof.
Yeah, he's a doof.
Yeah, and so
don't worry, he won't listen to this.
I always think he's definitely.
Then let's really get in.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
I actually think he's pretty relatively light. From what I've always kind of just enjoyed talking to him. I don't have a lot of exposure to him though. Now that I really think about it, but God, whatever Kottie says about him, she'll be like, nope. I'm like, oh, she's catastrophe. She goes so dark with certain topics with him to me when she talks to me about it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're overreacting. He's so not that way. And then kind of when he was on there, I was like, oh wait, he's kind of he gets stuck on stuff. I don't even know that he's that serious, but you just gotta
snap out of it.
Yeah. Wake him up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spank him. He needs a little spanking.
It's like a baby that's born and doesn't cry. You're like, shake it off.
But
like,
I feel like sometimes you don't get what you want, and like you should get everything you. But and you should just get what you want. Like get what you want.
Yeah.
But his dad came in town this past weekend.
Yeah.
And it was an eye opener for me.
Why? I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about it, but why?
No one will listen. Don't worry.
I feel like talk about everything. That's kind of
that's the way I am.
It was very interesting,
and we can edit it out if you.
Oh yeah. No, it was interesting because I spend most of my time with his mom, and she's very loving, very friendly, very warm. Can like walk into any home, and she's lovely.
There all the time.
She's lovely.
Yeah.
And she's very engaged with the kids. Really wants to be around.
Also,
the kids.
might need to wake up on occasion.
Yeah, totally. And then his dad came in town, and I don't think. First of all, he's getting older, like all of our parents are, and he's very stuck in his routine. And he wasn't very engaged with the kids. Like there's some people that just don't
do kids
take a liking to kids.
Yeah.
It's kind of more of a nuisance. And I'm not saying he probably thought that, but it just wasn't his vibe. It wasn't his vibe. He would have been fine going out to dinner every night, doing stuff without the children. And that's what we started to do towards the end, where I was like, this is starting to feel like an inconvenience. Like it was like 4 adults going on vacation and I was crashing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Where I went, holy shit, was this Mike's childhood?
Right.
Of like not that warm, fuzzy hug.
Right.
So no wonder he has a short fuse when it comes to patience and kids.
But
never learned.
Didn't he live with his mom?
It's not a learned behavior for him.
Mostly though?
No, his mom was a flight attendant.
Oh.
So she was traveling 4 days a week.
Okay.
And so his day to day, like school during the week, I think his mom mostly did weekdays, was his dad.
Right. Yes, it's crazy what you pick up on.
And not very playful. You know what I mean? Where I went, oh my God, this is eye-opening, and I'm going to cut him more slack because he does not come by this naturally.
Right.
This was, and he's a lovely man.
Yeah.
But
that was what was modeled for him.
That was what was modeled for him. And I go, this makes so much more. I mean, I wish I had learned this 3 years ago before we even had Lola, but like this makes way more sense to me now.
But don't you think having kids does that for you anyway?
Yeah.
Having kids makes you understand yourself and your partner and your in-laws and your
parents'
laws.
Yeah. Yes.
So much better.
It's crazy.
Isn't it?
Yeah. And I think there's elements of that you give more allowance for certain behavior. And then there's other side where you're like, that's not acceptable. You know what I mean? Like there's certain things that like you realize, and then you're like, okay, you really did your best. And the other thing you're like, no.
Yeah.
Like how'd you get away with that?
No, saddle up. Like,
So
but
true.
it was eye-opening to look at, because randomly a memory from like a month ago. That's how short-sighted my phone is. It's like, relive what happened 3 weeks ago.
In case you
take
forgot.
a walk down memory lane.
Yeah.
You've been busy. So let me remind you.
Here's what
your
you did
month has been
last
like.
weekend.
Right?
Yeah.
No, but it brought up memories when Mom and Dad were last in town.
Oh, yeah?
And Dad, you know how he'd spend like the whole day in the pool?
Uh-huh.
Or you know what I mean? Like I'd look at him sometimes and go, he's just not really a kids person. But that now I'm like, he adores his grandkids.
Of course.
Like, adores
He's
them.
not going to get in the floor and play Legos.
No.
But he is going to stay in the pool.
He will stay in the pool until
go to Clearwater.
every last kid. Yeah.
He was in the ocean with my kids as much as they wanted.
Yeah.
You just have to kind of find their lane.
It's like your dad when he comes in town.
We build mic stands.
You build stuff. He's not going to get on the dude and
That's
roll out
productive.
Play-Doh with the kids. But
no, he would.
He might.
He would get in the pool. But there are certain things my dad wouldn't do.
Yeah.
I mean, we are definitely watching the Western Channel 24 hours a day when my dad's
That's amazing.
there. So, there's like very little
the
Western Channel
the
or
one
like,
viewer.
or like American Pickers.
The one viewer. I love American Pickers.
He loves that show.
That's
pretty good. He definitely has his lane.
Yeah.
Right. And some parents have a broader lane than others.
I was trying to find that lane this weekend and I just couldn't.
Well, that's really a shame. But the good thing, the takeaway is you were able to go, oh, look what's happening here and apply that and be a little introspective. And you can adjust your own feelings and expectations about your spouse.
Yeah.
And one would hope Mike would do the same for you.
Yeah.
That's the way Bert and I have been
yeah.
from the beginning. It's one of the reasons that our relationship works is that we've been able to say, oh, I see why you do that. Now I can forgive you, or I can give you a pass. Or I can bring it to your attention to go, you know how you do this.
Yeah. Now you need to change it, by the way.
Right. It'd be nice if you just kind of pivot, not do that anymore.
Yeah.
But I mean, isn't that what life's about? Yeah. We didn't show up perfect. We showed up.
Well, I did, but
to learn. Well, except for you, of course.
Except for me.
Except for you.
But yeah. So eye opener this weekend.
Well, that's good.
So how long have you been doing your podcast?
Halston, how long have I been doing my podcast? 5 years?
5 years.
Oh,
5 years.
Jesus, Halston.
Yeah, he's on my Charlie's Angels box. I have a Charlie's Angels box.
I love it. He's just there.
5 years.
Charlie the
How
Angel.
many episodes? Almost 300?
This will be episode 290.
290.
Oh.
How about that?
Amazing.
You know,
Greg told me that it takes 300 episodes to really get going. So I think you're about to take off.
I'm about to take off.
Frank?
Although you already probably are. Greg.
Oh, Greg.
Greg.
I was like, who the hell's Frank?
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love my podcast. I'm really proud of it. Of course, Bert was like 2 years. It's going to take you 2 years to really kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
And that was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm still kind of figuring it out.
Yeah.
Like I'm really comfortable in the space and I love just talking.
Yeah.
I like not having an agenda sometimes and just seeing where the conversation goes.
I do too. And this is where this is a recurring conversation that we have, is that when and there's, I don't think there's anything wrong with preparation or like, you know, having topics like sort of sussed out already. But I find that when we have like a total, like too much of an agenda or try to structure it too much, we're like, oh, now it's time to like talk about this. And then I think you get hung up on trying to cover it all as opposed to just like really having like a real
being in the moment.
Yeah.
Just being present in the moment.
Yeah.
I think people are much more interested in real conversations than an agenda.
Yes.
Unless it's very specific.
Unless you're like, an
you know what I mean? Like you've got a doctor.
Well,
like, okay.
Like
intriguing.
I did
Or like a
the one with your
person.
friend Jen and with Sarah.
Yes.
About infertility.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
purpose of that conversation was their experiences with infertility.
Yeah.
That's a different thing.
Yeah. Then you got to come with facts.
Then you got to come with
Yeah.
facts, which I do. And then there's hangouts like this.
There's so
Where
many
you just
times where
hang
like she's like, where's Red Rocks? Like on our last episode. We were like,
I was like,
and then we all
Wyoming?
looked at each other. We're like, what?
Colorado.
Yeah. We
learned that.
We
I
don't
was
have all
like,
the facts.
it's Wyoming or
She's like Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, one of them.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't think so.
No,
Yeah.
Colorado. I'm excited you're coming. Are you excited?
I'm so excited.
It's going to be fun.
I really am. Got a lovely email from Dad this morning talking about the resurgence of the virus.
What?
The
But
COVID?
Greg just got it, and Greg was sick as shit.
Who's
Yeah.
Greg?
My brother-in-law.
Oh, God.
His company produces our
Yeah.
podcast. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Duran's brother.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's cool. That I didn't know that he was producing your podcast.
Well, they do all sorts of things.
They have, like, a
They're new in the
network?
podcast arena,
Mhm.
but they have a little crop of different podcasts. I don't know, 5 maybe?
So
Yeah.
why did you start your podcast?
Good question. So I give Greg a lot of credit because we had a conversation. We were in Napa and he was telling me just about like that it's still, I'm not a podcast person. I don't really listen to a lot of them. And he was just saying how new the space is still, even though it seems like so many people have podcasts and there's so much content. He's like, no, it's so new. It's still like the Wild West in a way. And there's so much more like, there's a need for so many more like more content, but just like more, like they're really, to me, it feels saturated, but there's actually like not as many as you think, I guess. I don't know. So we had this conversation, then we were talking about kind of not spoof, but like a funny parenting one, kind of making fun of different advice that you get or old school advice or things your parents did. And so it was kind of that. And then he was pitching it to like, you know, he was just thinking, oh, who would be funny to do that with? And I was like, how about Kottie and I? So then I came to him with Kottie and I was like, Kottie's so funny. And I said this to Bert too. I was like, Kottie is so, she's no one knows how funny she is. And like, I mean, I think, you know, her inner circle maybe. But I told Greg, I was like, she's like gold.
She's Bert in a skirt.
Yeah, Bert in a skirt.
Yeah, she is.
You never heard that?
I'm literally gonna have all these bumper stickers on my
I know,
car.
right?
I'm not a bumper sticker person, but the like whatever's not gonna eat him first. What did you say?
Oh, he eats whatever doesn't eat him first. Yeah, it's true. I mean, have you eaten a meal with my dad?
I love that.
You probably, Annie talks about it all the time. She's like,
I've never
my
noticed.
God. It's like he's like a competitive eater, but
I'm
just weighs
obsessed.
145 pounds, soaking wet.
So I went to, and then so he was familiar with Bert, but like, I mean, he's known Kottie just because your family. And then he was like, all right, well, let's do it. Let's try it. So we had originally started at his old office, and it was definitely good exercise. And then we kind of scrapped
it was more
those.
like, the beginning ones were like drunk mom podcasts.
Yeah, we were like, we're gonna drink every time, and then it was like, okay, like that gets
that
old.
already exists.
Yeah,
there's so many that are like that.
Yeah, and we're not opposed to drinking on any of them, but
fine.
I don't think it's a prereq or that it's part of the concept really. So we kind of got going again. I think at the beginning of this year.
When he changed offices,
yeah, and we've been like consistently doing it, and we're just like having fun with it.
Isn't it fun?
It's so fun, but there's some days where I'm like, what are we even doing?
And those are the best ones.
Where I'm like this is just like nonsense. But my original passion for it came out of because Kottie and I, like as close as we are, don't see each other all the time. Our kids aren't at the same school; they're not the same age as all of them, and so I wasn't like day to day with her. So we would have these conversations like every 2 weeks, and they would just be so funny that I was like, obviously, like I'm not objective, but like I'm like if someone would be so entertained by this conversation, these conversations. So that was kind of where it kind of came out of, and I pitched it to her. Obviously she has a full-time job, and so it was like a bit of a slow roll getting her to commit, and she's kind of like a little non-committal already.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not married to your twin.
Bert skirt. So she was, but you've really kind of like come through on this because I think and you can speak for yourself, but I feel like we have something and we're growing.
I do too.
But she's really, you've
nice.
shown up.
Yeah.
You've shown up.
I feel like there's so few things that
up.
are actually mine these days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
So
That's
it's carving it out.
This.
It's carving it out to go, it is mine.
That's why I started mine also, because Bert had this guy on his podcast called Jair Rodriguez, and he gave us both 2 sets of tests. One was a value test to find out what your value system was, and another one was like a personality test, sort of, to see if we're compatible, right? Guess what? We are. Lucky. But one thing he said was, this is good and bad. Bert is 90% self-focused and Leanne is 90% other-focused.
Oh.
That's a good match and a bad match, because eventually Leanne's going to get burned out, and you're going to be at a loss as to why she's burned out, because you're so focused on yourself, you won't even realize that you're burning her out.
Until you're like,
so you guys have to 60-40, just got to balance a little bit.
Yeah.
And I said to him at that moment, I don't do anything for myself. I was a writer for years. I was a writer that was really making headway.
Yeah, I remember.
Had Sony reached out to me to develop a book into a screenplay. Like I had some traction.
I remember.
Yeah.
And then got pregnant, and then decided, and I have no regrets, decided to be a mom. Because
is that when you stopped kind of? Yeah.
It is, because I tried to write when they were napping, and it just made me angry.
No, you're like 1, 2, 3, right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I would be rolling and the baby cries.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
Well, now 2 days later, I get back to it. I don't even remember what that creative piece was.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's not fair.
Ooh, that's torture.
To my 6-month-old.
No.
To have her deal with asshole mom, because I'm genuinely frustrated for good reason.
Yeah.
So I was like, I just have to stop.
Yeah.
So I started kind of flexing my creativity with Bert, where Bert would he'd go, how about this joke? What do you think about this concept? And I'd say, why don't you use this word instead of that word? Or, I helped him with his specials. I've been helping him with his specials forever. But at a certain point, I was like, I really genuinely have nothing. That helps him. That helps his art.
Yeah.
It's forwarding his career.
Yeah.
And even my day-to-day now, inarguably, is 90% for Bert.
Yeah.
My podcast might get 10, 15% of the focus of this whole company.
Yeah.
So it's still not that I need to be even 50%. Of course, it should be more about Bert. But if I didn't do this podcast, I would just still be all about Bert or George and Isla or my dogs or, so
Your
That's
dogs
the reason
take
I
a
started.
lot of time.
My dogs take up so much
Jesus.
time.
Why?
Oh, they're like magnets for injury.
They're just huge and they always get hurt and they're slobbery.
It's like the vet bred those dogs was like, let's just F them up.
He went like this.
We'll see you in a week. Yeah, they're like, hip dysplasia?
He goes, who needs a new Mercedes?
I'm like, who can we give these dogs to who's 90% about others and 10%
I
about
need a
itself?
kitchen remodel.
90% injury, 10%
So that's what I
play.
don't understand though, like about writing, because like I obviously was like I guess still am in a former life a songwriter, a singer, and for me, I feel like there are people, and that the kind of writing you were doing, I think, is different than songwriting. But there are people who are I have met people that are just able to be like 9 to 5, like they write hits, they like, and then they're dinner time, they like stop for whatever, they're in a session, they bang out some songs, and then they're like home.
But who's taking care of their kids in session?
Well, I don't know, but the point is, like, are they, whether they're doing it at home or even at home, like, I can't, like, click in. It's a zone that you're in when you're writing. So even if someone's like, you're going to get an hour here, then you have to break, and then you get 30 minutes. It's like, can you really get into that place that fast? And then just go back, like, the next day? Oh, wait, now, I don't think, for me, I could never do that.
I could never do that. I couldn't. When I was writing screenplays, I wrote 8 screenplays in 2 years, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And so I wrote Monday through Saturday, 8 or 10 hours a day. And I'd break for lunch or I'd take a walk and I'd still be in it. And I'm just an immersive person.
Yes.
It's kind of how I did parenting.
Yeah, exactly.
I just am immersive. I can't split the difference. And when we were first married, I was working also. So I only had the bandwidth to work our job, to pay our rent.
Yeah.
So I couldn't work that job and try to be creative and try to parent. And we couldn't afford a nanny we couldn't really afford the nanny when I was at work.
Yeah.
Like we'd be at the end of the week.
And then you're
and
doing
have
that,
like $25.
You'd rather be with your kids.
I mean, if your parents hadn't paid for Bert's flights when we were first starting out, he wouldn't have been able to continue. He'd have to get a job. The only way we made it was because Bert's parents said, I will pay for your flights until you get on your feet. It was amazing.
But
it was a huge
they pay
gift.
it forward now.
We do?
Yeah.
How do we pay it forward?
You always buy them flights out here.
Oh, well, I do. Yeah, but I feel like that's not
They paid
even
it
in
forward.
comparison.
Well, they were like, it's like,
we're paying it back.
They knew it was going to be, they'd have a return on investment with that. They believed in them.
I think they did.
Weird.
Well, yeah.
Weird,
They
I know.
did. But
yeah, because then you're breaking even with the nanny, and then you're like, well, I'm breaking even, and I'm not, like, I'm missing all this shit with my kids.
Yeah, and I'm not doing anything fulfilling for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I managed apartment buildings.
Oh, yes.
Which is the opposite
I remember
of writing.
that.
Right?
Yes.
It's all management and it's all compliance.
Was that like all like a full time?
In the beginning, when I first had Georgia, I had one building.
Yeah.
And then my building was bought by a big company called Red Rock or something like that. And they owned 2 other buildings in my neighborhood. So they fired the other 2 managers and gave me 3 buildings. Oh, and I was at a place where I couldn't be like, no, I'm not doing that. We needed the rent. Bert still wasn't making money. I had health insurance too. Yeah. We had 2 small children.
Oh, you got health insurance from them.
I got paid $1,200 a month, a free 2-bedroom apartment, and benefits.
Nice. Yeah.
So I mean, you can't say no to that.
Yeah.
I mean, that paid for 1 car payment.
Yeah.
And
the free rent is like
the free rent, and it was a nice apartment in a really good school district.
Yeah.
So I used to call it the golden handcuff.
Yeah.
Like, I can't leave this until we get to a certain point, because I will never find anything else that will allow me to work home with my kids some of the time. Yeah. Go to the office some of the time.
Yeah.
I just, there was no way I could replicate it.
How did you guys afford?
BlackRock. That's who bought it.
BlackRock. That's a weird name.
Just like, is it Fraggle Rock?
Something like that.
How did you guys afford their school?
Sunshine Shack?
Yeah.
It was really hard. Really, really hard. Really hard.
Shit.
Because Bert made money.
Yeah.
Right? And he would do things like Fresh Baked Video Games, which is a show that didn't go. Or what was that show he did that your mom was in? Reality Bites Back. So that would be like a little chunk of money that we could kind of.
That you would just pay for school.
Yeah. Hurt Bert.
I remember that one.
Hurt Bert paid a little bit. And, he every once in a while we get a big residual from something.
Yeah.
So we just kind of patched it together.
Mm-hmm.
But the monthly, he was making, not joking, he would make $500 a weekend and we'd have to pay for his travel. So, I mean, you can't even, a round trip ticket would be like $200.
His perseverance and yours as well.
Right? It was
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, so I started the podcast because I was like, I think I need to get back to something
Yeah.
that's just for me. That's my creativity. That's my voice. That's my wallpaper.
Yeah.
There's nothing in here that looks like Bert. And,
Keep it that way.
except that someone did give him that panther and I stole it.
It's the only borderline thing in here, but I
love
like it.
panthers.
I call myself a panther because I'm 2 years
Is
older
it like
than
a
Bert.
bong? Does that thing come off the end?
It's like liquor. It's liquor. It's like vodka.
Oh,
It's like
amazing.
really expensive. Young Gravy brought it.
Oh, wait, who's that?
He's
A rapper?
A rapper, yeah.
Okay.
He's a really
Ugh.
tall white guy that
Oh my
dates
God.
MILFs.
Stop it.
Mm-mm.
Stop.
Yeah.
That's
He's
epic.
actually
Does he
really
really?
sweet. Yeah.
He dates MILFs?
He dates MILFs.
That's
yeah.
his thing. I
Yeah.
love that.
Only if they've had a kid
I guess
or
so.
just older.
Just older.
Oh.
Anyway,
It's
not
like the
necessarily a mom.
mom.
not necessarily. Mature.
Mature. Yeah.
Mature, I'd like to
Mature,
add.
mature women.
A mature.
Yes.
Okay, so we need to get cozy seats for our podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else do you need? Something in the background.
We need
I don't
to
give a
borrow
shit about the background.
Who's on your Kill Bill thing? who's your Charlie Angels guy?
Oh, Halston, are you there?
Halston.
We need to borrow Halston for a day and have him be like, where do we put everything? I mean, I feel like
we need sandbags.
we
need sandbags.
it is leaps and bounds from the original.
I liked the original, but no, wait. Oh, I liked the second iteration we had.
Yeah, but
It was
still,
like
it's
a
getting
black
better.
hole. It's getting better, but you know what? We just got to be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we've got like a little 2-pound table that's got 2 mics balanced on either end, and they're like
They counterbalance each other.
seesawing between us, and I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
we got to figure it out
I
because
know. I need to talk
comfort
to
is
Greg and
key.
be like, do we have a budget to spruce things up?
I'll buy it.
Well, you should judge it. You're so good
Tell
at that,
the princess
Kottie.
she
I
can't
know.
use it.
Yeah,
Tell the princess she
There's
a
can.
another
princess
princess podcast that
Oh.
she goes. I don't know what day she goes, but one day she was in there before us and had moved
she
everything
brings
around.
in all her fake flowers, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
What's she talk about? Flowers?
that's what I
Princess
wonder.
stuff.
How much
Princess
can you
stuff?
princess stuff.
Princess stuff.
Hi, my crown today is so heavy.
How
It
long can you
hurts.
talk about that stuff? Like, what point does that podcast just die?
I don't know. I find myself wanting to talk about the same shit every day, and I'm like, God, I'm just like Bert in that sense.
With
What do you
you mean on
mean?
this podcast or in general? You just want to talk about the same shit every day? Have you talked
In
about
life.
anxiety yet? Have you talked about like the humorous part of anxiety? Because there are some humorous parts of
Oh,
anxiety.
yeah.
I was privy to an awesome panic attack driving to
Ooh.
the Metallica concert with my
Oh,
husband a
who
couple of
had it?
days ago. Who do you think had
Bert?
it? Yes.
Did he?
It was
he
me,
smoked too
Kottie.
much weed?
I had it.
Was he stoned?
He was sober and
Okay.
there was a lot of traffic.
Oh,
His are so. I mean, I know you're not supposed to say that someone's anxiety is so stupid, but his are so fucking stupid.
is this a traffic is a thing?
Well, he felt like we were going to miss the concert. It was an hour before the concert, but we were definitely going to miss it because of this traffic. And he was like, well, you got to pull over. You got to pull over. Just let him out. Just let him out. I can't get the tickets. Annie, I'm transferring the tickets. Do you get them? Did you get them? Did you get them? Did you get them? Did they go through? Did you get them? Just give me your phone. Give me your phone. Oh my God. No, so
Were
I'm
you
just
guys
going to
all in
cancel
one
it.
car?
Was Annie
Yes.
with you?
Yes.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
I'm just going to cancel it. No, I can't cancel it. Oh my God, they're not canceling.
What do you
they're
mean
not canceling.
cancel?
And
Like
then Annie's like,
transferring.
they're going through. They're here.
Oh.
I just can't open them. I need
Yeah.
a signal.
Yeah.
Well, if you can't open them,
Yeah.
they're pointless.
Yeah.
This is pointless. Well, they just need to go home. And I was like,
Oh my God,
my
whoa.
God. Dude, take a breath.
Dude.
Poor Leanne gets wrangled into my panic attacks as well, where I call them at like 11.
You're so much easier for
11:09,
me,
and
though,
I'm like,
than Bert.
Hey guys, code red. I am sitting on the couch alone. I think I need backup. Might be going to St. Joe's, undetermined at the moment.
Who was
Give me
this?
an ETA.
You?
Yes.
Oh, when you called Bert to come when you were having
Which one?
the ambulance?
No, that was like for real.
Okay.
That was real life.
What was the
medical
code red?
emergency? Code red was like a few weeks after that. I called them
Yes.
and was like, I will need backup. And they just sat there on the couch with me, and I'm like, it's getting worse. It's getting worse before
Oh,
it gets
But you
better.
were calm.
Bert's like, you need to take a Xanax. I was like, I can't. I've had a glass of wine. I can't. He's like, yes, you can.
There's nothing better than a Xanax and a glass of wine.
Well, our doctor told us it's fine to drink after you take it, but you can't take one after you drink. That's where it becomes lethal.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
That's what she said.
Yeah. Because you can't be drinking and then take a Xanax. But it's okay to take a Xanax and then drink.
But like drinking, like it's like if you had a glass of wine and then took a Xanax.
I'm sure that's fine.
Okay, but no. Not like if you were, no, I would never do that either.
No. Yeah.
No. Fuck no.
Yeah. No.
But did you also talk about you were taking expired diet pills?
She was with me.
I was, yeah.
She confiscated them.
I'm dead.
She handed me the bottle and I was like, this is written in magic marker.
Yeah.
Like, this is magic marker.
How screwy is that?
But
what were you thinking?
What were you
You're
thinking?
the screwy
You're
one
the
for taking
screwy
it.
one.
I know.
Did you buy it out of a trench coat? Did someone open a trench coat and go, ha diet pills?
Yeah, I mean,
Don't mind
literally.
the magic marker.
No.
How old am I that I say magic marker? Don't mind the Sharpie.
That's why I didn't take the amount he said to take. Because I was like, that doesn't feel right.
I'm a skeptic.
I'm
I
a
wouldn't have
skeptic.
taken any of it, Kottie. I would now, especially now that we know that fentanyl is what it is. Thank God it wasn't.
Oh my God.
Right?
What?
You motherfucker. I never thought about that.
It was fentanyl?
If it
Could've-
could have been fucking
could've.
anything.
Wait, fentanyl isn't like the fen that they put in the diet pill. That's
No,
different.
no. My point is,
Oh, yeah.
did you see the bottle?
No, she showed me a picture. Yeah, it was sketch.
It was so sketchy. So
Yeah.
my
It's very
point is, it
sketchy.
could have been any. She could have been
Could've
taking
been.
like horse tranquilizer.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
and I
It could have
would
been
had no
anything.
idea.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's so crazy.
I took it. I was like, you will not be getting this back. I don't.
You
care.
like took it.
No, I.
She's on it right now.
I confiscated it. I was like, that's.
It's like today
over.
I got a call. They were like, hello. And I was like, hi. She was like, there's been some suspicious activity with your social security number. I was like, oh, really? Okay. Because I was watching this thing on 60 Minutes last night about these older people getting scammed.
Uh-huh.
And so I was like, just for amusement. I was like, oh, really? She's like, yeah, in Texas, someone's using your social security and, are you aware of this? And I was like, no. She's like, can you write these numbers down? This is your case. I was like, sure. She's like, well, tell me when you're ready. I'm like, I'm ready. Go ahead. She's like, G7582 and whatever. And she's like, can you read it back to me? And I was like, no, I'm good. I said, like, what's the course of action? Like, what are you going to be asking me to do? And then it was like, click.
Exactly.
I was like,
I had one of
pitch
those
it.
too.
Pitch it. Like, sell it to me.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Social Security is not going to call you on the phone.
No.
From an unknown number.
No.
Good to know.
I had one of those too.
What happened?
I had one where someone called me and said there was an outstanding warrant for my arrest. And I went, for
Oh,
what?
I've gotten
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
And it was something, I don't
Please
even know
deposit
what it was.
$9,000.
Yes, right? And I was like, you're wrong. I don't have a warrant for my arrest. And it was something that you could, like, maybe I didn't file my taxes in 1984 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I just went down the rabbit hole with them. They were like, so if you don't give us X amount of money, then the sheriff's department is going to be at your house in about an hour. I was like, oh, awesome. That sounds so fun. Just kept going,
Awesome,
kept going. And then they were like, we're going to have the sheriff's department call you right now and verify that they're on their way. And I went, perfect.
Yeah.
Call comes in and
Yeah.
it was Villanueva himself. And I was
Stop it.
like, really?
Stop
Like
it.
that guy's going to
Stop
call
it.
me. The sheriff of LA County is
You better
calling
run,
me
girl.
because I skipped out on a bail bond. Okay.
Stop.
And someone was pretending to be Villanueva. And I was like,
I'm
oh my
dead.
God, this is
You're our
a-
only outstanding case at the moment, so I'm calling you personally.
You know,
It's
right?
crazy but what's surprising is that these scams are still happening. They still get away with so much money, primarily, I guess, to older people. But
Yeah.
I'm now, whenever I get a call like that, like if it says spam, I'm not answering. But when I accidentally answer or like don't know who's calling, I'm like, okay. Like, I'm like, let's like entertain me.
Yeah, right?
Like, what are you going to ask me to do?
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. Like,
It is
there's
crazy. That it still
obviously
works
somebody-
is crazy.
yeah, somebody hiring enough people like at a call center to like do this dance. I mean, it's crazy to me. It must work.
It does work.
Yeah.
One of my friends, someone that you know, make sure Isla's not calling me. Someone that you know, I'll tell you later. Her parents got scammed. The dad went through all of it, went to the bank, bought the debit
Lord.
cards, sent the debit cards, and liquidated. Because once they got the debit card, I guess
Yeah.
they got into his bank account and liquidated all his retirement,
No.
every dime they had.
And there's no recourse.
No recourse.
Yeah.
Can't do
I
anything
know
about
who
it.
this is.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think you do.
It's heartbreaking.
It's really heartbreaking. And you think, how can you be so dumb? You know, is what I think. It's like, how can you be so stupid? How can you be 70 something years old and be this dumb? But they're just so not familiar with this new way of technology, and they're just not familiar.
This reminds me of when I was an assistant, maybe in 2007. When was Madoff caught?
Oh, it's been a while.
I think it was around there. And so many clients, the heartbreak of like everything I had.
Mm-hmm.
With so many Hollywood people.
Yeah.
Had
Nancy Silverton, right? Mozart.
She did too.
She had a ton of money with him. Yeah.
Ugh. You know what I was going to tell you?
What?
Duran just got his tonsils out.
No.
Oh, yeah.
How'd that go?
It's still kind of going. He just went to Zade today. And I guess Zade said it was the worst. His left tonsil was the worst he's ever seen.
Oh my gosh.
And this is like
we go to the same ENT.
Pretty like, high level, like, he's got a lot of years under his belt. He said that they were the worst. I think after the surgery, he had called me and said, the doctor said that it was the most scar tissue, but I didn't realize it was like the worst. I think he should have had him out when he was a kid.
Yeah.
And I guess that was the worst one, the left side. But the infection, just like with the tonsils, I think that's part of the purpose if they work, right? To kind of catch the virus and then cycle through. But I guess it would just like at a certain point, if you've had so many infections, it just like kind of stays
infected. Yeah.
So he's lost 25 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
In like 10 days.
Why? Because he's not able to eat?
Not Can't eat anything.
No, bless his heart.
He's been eating ice cream like 3 times a day. I'm like, is that going to catch up with you? But I guess not.
Only in the heart. Part.
Only in the diabetic department.
Georgia's getting hers out in a couple weeks, and she's so nervous.
Well, I think it's easiest if you're like under 10 years old, but she's still like,
young
what is
enough.
she, 19?
She's
no,
fine.
he told her it was going to be bad.
It's gnarly.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that I talk about it like
I wonder if it's still considered as bad as like a 40 plus something person.
I don't know. He said
2 weeks.
He said 10 days
Yeah.
of Percocet. And he said he avoids it at all costs because of the pain. He said, I avoid it because it's
doing the surgery.
Painful.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't want it. He's like 10-minute surgery, easiest surgery on the planet.
Yeah.
But the recovery is rough.
Yeah.
It's like, and depending on your tolerance for pain, it can be really, really rough.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do.
She gets the infections often.
She got strep 5 times this year. And after the 4th time, we took her to the ENT, and he was like, he said, let's do these preventative things like water pick your mouth and water pick your tonsils and gargle with salt water. It's good. And then take a Claritin and see if this is kind of allergy related, if you just have a lot of postnasal drip and is catching a lot of bacteria. And let's see if we can kind of mitigate it until Christmas holiday.
Yeah.
And then during your winter break, we'll do it then. And we'll get you through fall.
Yeah.
And 3 days later, she got strep again. And he was like, that's it. I can't send you to college.
Did she get them a lot when she was younger?
Maybe once in her whole life.
See, interesting. Are they big?
Like
size-wise?
I don't know.
I wonder, because Durans are big. I mean, my kids, a few of them have, my pediatrician has commented like how the size of them, but doesn't necessarily, I don't know that means they're prone.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
But he definitely showed me where some food was caught in her tonsils. And I wonder if your family's crazy screwed up construction of your mouth and jaw has anything to do with that.
It's your family's fault.
It is.
And their teeth.
They have analgesia imperfecta.
Yeah.
Which is.
I don't know how to say that.
Is
that the teeth thing?
It's actually a glandular disorder.
Okay.
But your glands will dictate how your jaw develops, and part of that also dictates how much, if any, enamel you have on your teeth, your baby teeth and your permanent teeth. And
you've really gone on a deep dive.
Oh, both my children have it.
Oh, they do?
That's why we all have double chins because of that.
It's
imperfecta?
It is exactly
is that the
why
last part
you
of
have imperfecta. Yes,
we're just imperfecta.
There's like a huge range of problems with this one. It's a genetic disorder. You guys are, you probably inbred somewhere. Yeah. I am the one you would think would be inbred, but I am like a horse. I'm healthy as a horse. I've got nothing. I don't even have allergies. You got anxiety and allergies and allergies and imperfecta and all this shit.
We're like those purebred dogs that were just bred.
You're
we're
like
mastiffs. We're mastiffs and you're the Mona.
She's never explained it to me ever. She's never been able to explain it to me this entire time. Like literally when we were on Bert's podcast, I go, is this like a joke? I thought she was like exaggerating or making it up.
No.
But you're explaining it, so it makes a lot of sense to me. But like, I just don't have enamel on my teeth. I'm like, okay,
it's a lot more than that.
Yeah,
it dictates
now it makes sense.
It dictates the arch of your upper palate. It dictates the construction of this joint. Like you know how I have this like kind of L-shaped joint, Georgia.
You see my chiseled jaw?
You know, right? Mine's not chiseled anymore.
Is it Gigi or Al? Do we know?
It's Gigi.
Oh, what a little.
It's all her. She has it, and a bunch of her brothers have it. Not all of them, but almost all of them. Like 7 of the 8 or something crazy. But I wonder because it is to do with the construction of basically every part of your upper and lower jaw. Mm-hmm. I wonder if that has something to do with why food's getting caught in her tonsils. Because she doesn't have.
And she's now having tonsil stuff. I feel like repeatedly. No,
me?
Weren't you having
I'm popping them a lot.
You can't pop your tonsils.
You sure can.
She says,
but you have tonsil stones a lot, don't you?
Well, remember over the holiday, over Thanksgiving and Christmas, I was so miserable.
Yes, I do. Yeah,
I was dealing with tonsil stuff.
She said she popped it, and I
popped it. I sent you a picture.
I haven't recovered from that,
and it's just like a lot. It's just thick.
Yeah.
So I've popped it a couple times, but you know, the last time I went
like right here.
It's inside the eye.
But you go in and you press down on it and it just goes.
Did Sunday tell you to do that?
No, but I saved it in a Ziploc and took it to his office. And he looked at it.
Might vomit.
He was like, it's probably stones.
Stones? What are stones?
It's just like it once. Here's the problem. Someone like Duran or me or Georgia, once your tonsils get all jacked up, the pores of them become very porous. So it's easier, like, it's more susceptible for infection.
What do you mean stones,
bacteria.
Though? They're like, are they like food?
Food or bacteria
or plaque.
Saliva or plaque will get caught in the pore and then it builds and it creates like, it becomes an irritation to swallow.
Almost like a pimple.
Yeah. And then you press it and it'll go poof.
My God. Almost like a whitehead.
So is Georgia prepared to get like snatched? She's going to lose like 20 pounds?
Freaked out.
She doesn't have 20 pounds to lose.
She's skinny as a rail. She's really anxious about it. She's never had any kind of, I mean, like Isla had the orthodonture from hell. And Georgia's was like, we can't really fix her jaw without a serious major surgery. So if her jaw's not bothering her, we're not going to do the surgery.
On Isla?
Georgia.
Oh, okay.
So she had just had enough orthodonture to get her shit straight.
Yeah.
Isla had like a cage in her mouth and a key in the top and like all this shit on. Isla was like all that. Robotic in her mouth, and Georgia just had braces.
Okay.
So, I mean, I had a headgear and then had this.
I had headgear.
Thing that like
hot.
It was sexy.
Oh yeah.
Do they still do that to kids?
She had
with like the and it goes into the back.
Wow.
Ooh, good idea.
What do you
mean? I might get Invisalign.
Why?
Why?
Your teeth are perfect.
Your teeth are like no, almost crazy perfect.
No, they're not.
How are they not perfect?
First of all, I have a gap where I can't bite into things. Like turkey will slide right out of my mouth. And then
no, but that's an open bite.
Well, I think Invisalign can fix it.
No.
Ooh, and I've heard
it's your jaw
with those retainers really cuts your like eating in half because you can only take them out for an hour a day. So it's like forced fasting. But if you look at my lip, look at right here, and look at the tooth it falls over.
Is it not lined up?
The one tooth?
Huh? It's like I'm a little.
It's on the left.
I'm like a rabbit. I've got one little
Tom Cruise.
Tooth.
Wait, why?
Tom Cruise's teeth are like this.
Oh, really?
I'm Tom.
Yeah, you're Tom Cruise.
That's what I have. This tooth is right in the middle.
Yeah.
And I look crooked in pictures where I'm like, so I think if I shift it, I'm going to do that.
The open bite might be your jaw.
Oh, I don't give a shit about the open bite.
Because Georgia has an open bite, and they were like, the only way they can fix her open bite is to cut her lower jaw in half and take bone out of her thigh and build a jaw.
She has an overbite?
No, she has an open bite.
What does that mean?
That's like her teeth go like this instead of like your teeth go like this.
Is that not an underbite?
No, her like top teeth, bottom teeth. This is what they look like, just like yours. This is what you're supposed to do.
Your molars touch, but the teeth don't.
But this doesn't touch the front. So you could like that, like
Look
that,
at her
like
little
that, like
tongue.
that.
Look at her
Exactly.
little tongue coming out.
Exactly.
It is like we went swimming with dolphins in the Bahamas, and we all had to like. Most people could like put the dead fish like at the front teeth and hold it, but all of us, like Bert and Annie and I, had to put like the fish's tail on our molars because those are the only teeth that touched. So we'd be like, it was like deep throating a
You
dead
did not
fish.
want to move your teeth
La,
around
la,
now.
la, la. And then
why
you
would
get like
do
scales
that?
in your molars,
why
and you're
would
like,
you do that?
That is.
I was like, do we have to
You
feed
did
the
not
dolphin?
do that.
Swear.
You did not put a fish in your
Swear.
mouth. You're the,
We were.
she's so creeped out by like so many
Fins.
things.
Fins. I don't like fins.
So how did you guys meet?
Oh.
In the mailroom at Paradigm.
We weren't even assistants. We were just little mail gophers.
What was your goal in working at Paradigm?
I don't
I
know.
didn't have one.
I went to school for apparel design. I was working in fashion. Like I like interned. I like worked in retail, and I was just like, I want to do something else. I didn't really know what. And I was always singing. I was always doing music, but like I always like wanted to have something like a job,
Like official.
I'm not the kind of like starving artist type. I'm like, no, like I need like something real, like even if I'm doing that on the side. So then my sister, who I guess is still an actor, but more into acting at the time, was represented by Paradigm. And she was like, oh
yeah, that's right.
She was like, do you want to like work in the mailroom? And I was like, I mean, I don't even know. Had nothing else like on. Like,
wait, Bert did the
going
same thing
on
with me.
So I was like, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. It's funny that you asked that actually. And then it ended up being the greatest experience. It was almost like better than college. It became like more, it was so much camaraderie with other people. And I didn't grow up in LA. So, you know, it's like this community, not that you like love everyone in that community, but it was like this family. It was like very like collegiate in a way where like, you know, you have these people you see every day, you're interacting, you have to get dressed up, you know, and it was such a great experience. I didn't do it for like, I don't know. I then went into PR after that. But that's how I met Kottie. Why did you, same thing with you?
Bert was like, this is just what you got to do.
It was like a rite of
I
passage.
had no goal. So I
Yeah.
just came out here. I was like, I just want to work somewhere. Like, I just
Yeah.
need a job. My resume just has my address on it. Like, I literally don't even have, like, I never had an internship.
Right.
Was kicked out of a sorority. Never had a job.
Right.
On
Besides,
your
like, I was
resume
a lifeguard
imperfecta.
for like 6 hours.
Oh my God.
Lifeguard.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't have anything. So it literally was the saddest little resume. I was looking for the perfect job under my name and address.
See, if you were my sister, you would have like lied about like 10 jobs on there. Like been like, you know, like she would like I don't even know it was on her college application. She would just like fluff it up.
So Bert
That's
was
so
like,
funny.
Monica,
Uh-huh.
Barquette worked there and was like,
Oh, yeah.
let
How
me
did
get
she-
you.
how did he
They
know
went
her?
to college, the high school together. She grew up
Oh.
in Tampa.
Random. Okay.
Yeah. So he was like, Monica will hire you. Because
So-
like every other agency's like, you've never worked a day in your life. And he was with ICM at the time. And
Do they even
ICM's
care
like,
when you're just going to the mailroom?
I think
I
they
don't
want to
know.
know that you've done something.
Pulling
An
headshots?
internship.
When you had to pull physical headshots.
Right.
Before
and
everything was
staple the
electronic.
resume on the back
funny.
of
Yeah.
it.
Oh, I
Remember when they
That you
tried,
print out scripts. Like
Oh,
wasting like,
and they would they'd give you rubber fingers, and they're like, count every page. And I was like,
and then deliver
okay.
them to the actors. Deliver them, messenger them, courier them to the actors.
Do you know
What
what
a
I
waste of
used to
time
do?
and paper.
They'd have rubber fingers, and they'd be like, you'd go into the back room. They're like, make sure to count all the pages. I'd be like, and then one of the guys, because we were the only 2 girls in the mailroom, one
Yeah.
of the guys was like, what are you doing? I used to put rubber fingers on all 4 on each hand and just go like this to the pages so it looked like I counted. I'm like,
They were ruffled.
I was like, time. And I'd just go like this. I was like watching stuff on my phone, just going, time. I was like, I was
Stop
not
it.
counting.
stop.
How funny.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So were
Yeah.
you immediately friends?
Yeah.
We were yes, we were, but we were so different.
Yeah.
We were so different. I was like fresh out of Texas.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
had
very
like
different.
the hot rolled hair. And I remember wearing a strapless lace top to work one day. How inappropriate.
There was like
With like a satin sash.
there was like
Oh,
a rumor
that's
going
so
around that she was like
Texas.
Bill Gates' niece for
Niece,
a
yeah.
while.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Right?
it was.
Bill Gates.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had just gotten the new car. I graduated. I had the new car.
Yeah.
And everyone was
It's
like,
funny that our siblings, I guess it's because of them.
totally.
Yeah.
Well, you got to start from somewhere, right?
Yeah, you do.
Nepotism's all over Hollywood.
you know.
Aren't you lucky they got you in the mailroom?
And isn't that funny? All I wanted to do after that, everyone's like, you should be a publicist. You should be a publicist. And it just, the thought like just disgusted me for some reason. I don't know why. Because it was everything about Hollywood that made me uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Like fashion and the girls club. And, you know, there was something about it that it just didn't settle with me. So then my end goal was just to work at I wanted to work on a lot.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted.
Well,
more
now
than
you're
anything.
in PR, but not in the sense like,
no.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because like personal PR is like, can be gross.
Ugh.
It's completely different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Not for our personality types. I mean, we're different, but either one of us, and it's not the right thing. But like your friend who I met,
Megan
is great. Like I feel like
hysterical.
she's the type who's just like gonna crush it and not like let it like fuck with her.
What you come to realize the older you get,
yeah,
is that the publicists that have really made it and are representing like the biggest of the biggest,
mm-hmm.
they're the most down to earth.
Yeah,
they're the people that those celebrities want to sign with. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, those are the chill chicks.
Right.
The ones that are all wiry and all over the place are still trying to like make a name for themselves. Like, you know?
Yeah.
It's so interesting. That's what I've
interesting.
noticed.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So why do you think you stayed friends? Because that was a long time ago. Why do you, what was it that made you continue with each other? You are not.
Isn't that weird?
What made you stay friends?
Session now. We're in a couples therapy.
I don't know. We did have years that we kind of didn't fall out, but we wouldn't talk.
You've said that before that we fell out. We never
fell out. Never had beef.
Yeah.
No.
But our lives sort of just timing of things.
Yeah.
You know?
Uh-huh.
Well, I see it happening with my friends now sometimes. Like friends that don't have kids. It's not by no means intentional, but like you had kids way earlier than I did.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you kind of like just naturally are hanging out with other mom friends that are, you know what I mean?
We were always in touch. There was a time where I didn't like talk to you as often. I mean, I was like personal assisting for like, you know.
But I think once I had Ted.
People and like just like off in their universe, you know? And so then I think, you know, that also was like not normal.
I think once you had Luca and then you had Ezra. And then once you had Ezra, it was like you were full throttle with kids.
Yeah.
And then we had a slight bout where we weren't, and I wasn't pregnant, wasn't married.
Yeah.
You know?
I loved when I first had Luca though. It was like I had Kottie and Annie like to like mother him as well.
Yeah.
Aww.
Like we all had a kid.
Yeah, we all had a kid together.
That's very cool.
But yeah, I mean, she's the best. Why would I not want to be friends with her?
Well, I agree. I never thought that you weren't friends. Well, that wasn't even my question.
How dare you?
My question was, what was the connection? What is it? Is it that you make each other laugh? Is it that you learn something from each other? Is it
it's a good question. I feel like we're very different, but it's complementary. I think, and it's like, it's like a calming effect. I think that we have on each other. Like you can bring me back to you know, and I can bring you back, but we're not like of the same school of thought.
No,
but you're not really of the same school of thought of anyone. But I've gotten some feedback from people about the podcast, and they're like, I love it. They're like, I love your friend too. She's like, she's so different from you, but you guys have the best like exchange. You know, I think if we were more similar, it wouldn't even be good, and probably our friendship wouldn't even be as interesting.
No. It wouldn't be interesting. I think that is the key to me. People who are really smart people tend to be interested in people who aren't like them. Right?
Yeah.
That's what I find.
Well, there's your
creates
answer.
a more
interesting.
He's really smart. But no, but you are. You're curious.
Yeah.
Like you're both really curious people about whatever you're curious about.
Yeah.
Curiosity doesn't have to be about bugs and whatever. You can be curious about fashion or music or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're both very curious. And I think curiosity is a value.
Yeah.
And when you find someone else who's curious.
That's deep, man. No, it's true. It's really true.
It is true. I think,
but I feel like she's the one person where I can be like, I am like, just like in a dark.
I see you're like raw,
where I'll be like, you know, or if I fucked up or like I think I really did something bad or like whatever, like she'll like be like, you're not a bad person, like you know, this was because of this and this is because of that, and so there's something super cool about still having people in your life that like also know your family and just the dynamic of like your. Loosely, you know, not necessarily day to day, but just know the dynamic of your personality and they can really help you reflect too when you can't see it.
Oh, it's invaluable.
Yeah.
It really, really is.
Yeah.
You're very lucky that you found each other so young and at the same place. You started at the same place. You're now kind of at the same place and that you have kids the same age.
Yeah.
You're some older, you one younger.
Yeah.
And you can kind of navigate this time of your life together because it's an amazing time of your life when your kids are this age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really fun time.
It is fun.
To do it with a friend. The reason I started it, I have a yearly ornament exchange. The reason I started it was because I knew life was changing. As soon as I had Georgia, I was like, I'm going to lose all these women because none of them have babies. And I'm going on a different path.
Yeah. How old were you when you had Georgia?
33. And I had two or three people had babies.
Yeah.
But they lived like in Hermosa Beach. And I was like, we're never going to see each other.
Going to see them.
Because we're not going to travel.
Yeah.
So I gotta like rally the troops at least one day a year so I can say, hey, I want to keep knowing each other for the rest of our lives or as long as it serves us, and I don't know how else to do it because I know I'm about to be, entrenched in life and you already are or aren't yet. So it's really cool that you stayed together. I think that's really great.
So do you still do the exchange?
Every year?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you see all those people?
You're on year 20, right?
20.
Of the exchange?
Yeah.
That's
This is year
amazing.
20,
No, that's
yeah.
so cool.
This
I
is
love
year
those.
20 and July next year is 20 years. We've been friends.
Really?
July of next year. Yeah.
Georgia was born. Georgia will be 20 in June next year. So that sounds
Yeah.
about right because you graduated.
I graduated.
I
and
remember
moved out.
you were pregnant with Georgia when I first met you.
No, she was pregnant with
No.
Isla.
She was in college and I couldn't go to her graduation because I was due like the next week.
Oh, you were in
So-
college?
Yes.
Oh, wait.
So she
You were pregnant
graduated
with Isla
and like
then?
a week later
Oh.
I had
She
Georgia.
was pregnant with Isla when I was at the collective.
That's right.
And what about Glenville, that apartment with Annie? Isla.
I was pregnant with Isla.
She was pregnant with Isla.
I was
Yeah.
playing tennis and we were
It was a
dropping
great
off.
apartment.
It was a great
That was
apartment.
a great townhouse.
It
Glendale,
was.
good night.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was cute.
Yeah.
You and Annie. I still haven't met Annie's boyfriend.
He's very nice.
He's
We
so
went
nice.
to see music twice this weekend and they both went with us.
Where else did you go other than Metallica?
We went to see a guy named Corey Henry.
Okay.
He is
Oh.
he has a band that plays funk music. He's very kind of James Brown. We saw him at the Blue Note Jazz Festival.
Oh, nice.
But he was doing a tour with just him and a piano. He's a jazz pianist and a jazz organist.
Yeah.
And we saw him play organ and do his funk thing at Blue Note. And then it was just him and a piano at the Masonic Lodge.
Oh, nice. I
And
love that.
It was lovely. So we saw that, and Annie and Matt came with
And
us.
who
That's
wanted
nice.
to see Metallica?
Isla.
Isla's a deadhead.
Stop.
Not a deadhead,
She's a headbanger.
metalhead.
Stop.
Yes.
amazing.
You know what?
Rita was there. Did you see?
Shh.
I did.
Who was there?
My friend
Samantha's
who's a
old
hairdresser.
Oh, yeah.
And
I suppose, yeah.
her husband's in Motley Crue now, just joined.
Oh, got
so
it.
they're like, now she hangs out with like Tommy and what's the wife's name? She's like the comedian.
What is it?
Brittany.
Furlan.
Anyways, they were all there.
Oh,
I
that's
don't know.
cool.
But did
That's
she have
cool.
fun?
She did.
Yeah.
So not Motley Crue. Metallica, it was a 2-night ticket. So you couldn't just buy one night. You had to buy Friday night
No
and
way.
Sunday night. And they played
What?
entirely different sets both nights.
That's cool.
That's
It
cool,
was
but like also
amazing.
kind of aggressive. Do you have to buy two?
But
No?
you're going to, but we did.
Has anybody other artist done that ever?
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah.
They
Not
should do
to my
that more.
knowledge.
Like Dave Matthews should do that.
Totally.
People
Dave
that
Ma-
have like a
Where
huge
did Dave Matthews
catalog.
just play? Like he
He
plays
was in
yeah.
Irvine.
Irvine.
I would love to see Dave Matthews.
Oh, we tried to get tickets to that. We tried really hard.
friend
We tried
went-
to pull strings and get tickets to that.
Oh.
And they were like, they don't do that.
Oh,
We can hook you up with some full price seats and they're over here. And we were
Yeah.
like, do we really want to drive
Yeah.
to Irvine? Not that we couldn't pay for them. We'd be happy to
Yeah.
pay for them. But we were like,
It's
oh
the
my
whole
God, we're Corey
yeah.
Henry Thursday
Yeah,
night, Metallica
yeah,
Friday
yeah.
night, Dave Matthews Saturday night,
Yeah.
Metallica Sunday night.
did
I
he
think
only
I
do
might
one
die.
night in Irvine, or multiple nights?
I don't know, but we
Oh.
had tickets
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, Sunday
Yeah,
already. And I was
Oh,
like, I can't do 4 nights in a row.
Yeah.
Come on.
More people should do that.
I can't tell you that, but yeah, more people will be doing that.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget to
Mhm,
tell me later.
Okay.
hmm
Okay.
I had
Uh,
to take Luca to Drake. I mean, I didn't have to, but I took him to Drake on Tuesday, and it was an interesting.
How old
crowd.
is he?
11.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Was his mind blown?
he loved it.
He did.
Yeah.
He was more embarrassed by Samantha. He's like, Mom,
I
stop.
put my arm around him and he was just like, and I was like, I'm so cool. He's like, just stop talking. You're like, you're going to ruin it. I'm like, okay. Like, you don't even know how good you have it, dude.
Right?
Yeah. But
do you know how hot I am? I'm wearing a jumpsuit at Drake.
Right? I'm like, come at me. And like the women above us were like saying hi to us. And she was like, you're the coolest mom. I was like,
I told you.
I mean, does this just happen with boys or girls? I think. Yeah. I heard like end of 6th to like 8th, or does it just like continue on?
Just depends on what's going on. And I definitely.
He's more hard on me than Duran.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, Isla's more hard on me than Georgia.
Okay.
For sure.
Maybe it's just,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. Just across the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Georgia, perfect example. This morning I was like, so I'm thinking about rearranging our family room because we have this big sectional. I'm like, but really only like 4 people sit there.
Yeah.
You know, so, and that's just not conducive. Like we have 10 people over for dinner.
Yeah.
4 people can sit on my couch.
Oh yeah. You need.
I need like, I mean, we could shove 8 people on it, but you'd be like,
yeah,
sitting
no,
like
you
this.
want like
super comfortable for the 4 of us, but it's stupid.
Yeah.
We have this huge room and 1 piece of furniture in this huge room. So I was thinking about getting 2 couches and have them face each other. And then your dad really wants a recliner in there and getting like 2 really nice recliners and having 2 recliners that can swivel and talk to the kitchen and swivel and watch TV.
Yeah.
And then the 2 chairs. And she goes, do you want to know what I really think?
Oh God.
I said, yes. She said, I think you have enough on your plate.
Stop it.
I think that you are stressed out so much of the time that I wouldn't deal with this until maybe February. And I was like, what? She was like, you just have too much on your plate. So I'm just not going to sign off on anything.
Sign off? But do you think that's true in any capacity? Do you feel
it's
like
100% true?
Right now
but
you have more than usual?
I'll just do it anyway.
More than usual right now?
No, I have so much.
No.
I've been
You're
working
like on cruise control.
so much forever.
It's always like this. February's not going to be any better.
That's what I said. I was like, I'll just have Paula do it. The lady that's helped me with interior design. I'll just have her do it. I just want to tell her, do that.
Does she realize it might like benefit her?
Yes.
Okay.
She still was like, I can't sign off.
What is your sign?
I'm a Leo.
Okay.
Aries moon, Aries rising.
Oh,
Leo
baby.
Mars.
Fire.
I need to think about that plan for a bit.
My plan?
I like it.
The recliners are bumping you?
No, I don't mind recliners.
Can you not sign off on it either?
No, not yet.
You know what it is? I walked it off. I measured it off and walked it off, and it would fill that room up.
I think you need to fill that room
Yeah,
up.
the room is half empty.
It's like,
It's half empty.
it's half empty.
And it would fill
And
the
you know
room
what
up.
else you need in there? You need it, and you're going to say, no, I don't.
Okay, what is it?
You need a huge fucking rug. A big rug.
A huge rug?
That's just like carpet.
No, I know.
Soft. Huge.
I don't know about
Carpet.
Soft. It's got to be
No.
dog
I was
friendly.
just going to say, what
They
about
are
the
the
dogs?
best. No, I'm telling you.
Dog friendly.
Rugs like that,
Yeah.
for example.
Yeah.
Low pile.
Yeah.
Pile, is that
Yeah,
what it's-
that's right.
Yeah. Like, those are perfect for big dogs because you just vacuum it right up.
Mm-hmm.
The other ones,
No, I have a low pile. I have a lower pile than that in there now.
yeah.
But yeah, I could use
You
a bigger
need
rug.
Cottie's
14 by like 18.
That's what I have.
Oh, wow,
Cottie's
that room is big. Then.
Cottie's
Room is
consulting with a
huge.
K.
I know. But I want to be involved in this plan.
Kreischer carpets.
I
with
really want to
KK.
be involved in this plan.
I know.
Yeah, right. Well, you're
Did you
welcome
like your
to be.
casting in the film?
Oh yeah, I loved
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
Stephanie's awesome.
She was fun.
Did you know her before?
I did not.
Okay.
I got to be in all the casting, and you know what I liked about
Why didn't
her?
you just do it? Did
They
you think about
actually-
that?
I kind of wish you had.
They didn't want me to do that.
Why?
Because at the time they didn't know if Bert could act.
Yeah.
So they wanted
There were like
a
2
really
non-actors.
good actress.
Yeah.
They wanted to surround him with really good actors.
Yeah.
So in case he just
Bombed.
needed propping up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was discussed, and that was the reason. And I don't care.
You would have crushed though.
It would have been great. It
Yeah.
would have been really fun.
Yeah.
But it's fine. I'm glad
Yeah.
Stephanie did it, and she's
Yeah.
become a really good friend. She's really great.
Yeah.
She ate crackers in the whole audition. She just ate crackers and talked to Bert like
Stop
it was
it.
me, and I was like, "That's fucking me." And she
Whoa.
doesn't have the accent,
What a
but
baller.
the the
Yeah.
rapport
Yeah.
and the energy between them,
Yeah.
I was like, "That's completely me."
Yeah.
And then they had someone who was Southern
Uh-huh.
and no connection with Bert Absolutely. She was really adorable and a really good actress. But there was no but he and Stephanie just from the beginning connected, and I went,
and the
well,
girls,
that's her.
Did the girls want to be in it?
No.
God, no.
They made us change their name. You know, their names were Tati and Sasha.
Oh, yeah.
Because they didn't want to be George and Isla.
Oh, okay.
They thought that was just too much.
Oh. Who? Your kids?
My kids did.
Oh, yeah.
My kids aren't completely on board with this whole life. They are like 80% on board.
Yeah, yeah.
The fame part is really, really hard for them to wrap their heads around as it affects them.
Yeah.
Right? You know, so like Georgia had a lot of really crappy stuff happening at college, especially dudes who are just bruh.
Ugh.
You know, and like
that's what Luca does now.
Bruh.
No, just goes, no.
Brr.
That's it.
Brr.
Yeah. But yes, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. So she was like, it freaked her out a lot. And then Isla it's really freaky for them to have go, oh my God, you're Isla. And have them think they know everything about her. When they really know the jokes that Bert's written about her, which is only partly true.
Hard. Yeah.
Some of it's true. Some of it's not true.
Yeah.
And that's why it's a joke. You know, he's not storytelling real life. He's just a joke.
This will be her second year?
Georgia,
college,
sophomore year,
yeah. Well, it's the same thing with my sister. I don't even actually. Maybe hers is a little more reality based, but like she writes like fiction, but it's like not because it's like just enough to offend you. Where she's like, no, you know, like, and then everyone's like I'm in on the joke, and I'm like that didn't happen, like or it didn't happen like that, or you know, I get it. I mean, I get it, but I'm as a sister, I think it's different than being a kid of somebody who's talking about your family too.
Well, you know, and also not to defend anything, just to kind of explain, when Bert first started talking about them on stage, we really did not know that this would be his trajectory. Yeah. We did not know. Yeah. Social media as it is today.
You're not psychic?
Did not what's that?
You're not psychic?
No, I'm not psychic. But social media did not exist like it does today. Yeah. So there was no possibility of them blowing up in this capacity because that didn't exist.
Yeah.
So
I know that's so interesting.
It is interesting. And so we have many times, I have in particular, apologized to them because had this paradigm existed when they were 6 or 7, when he started talking about this, it might have been different. Yeah. We may have made different choices, but you only can make the choices you make for the moment you're in, you know?
Yeah.
And I especially had no idea that's where the world was going into this huge social media platform for everything I don't think you do.
But honestly, I think if he had changed that, he wouldn't be where he is.
He wouldn't.
Because his comedy has always been very much defined by like who he is and where he is in that moment of life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Really build your own business through the social media, which like is a blessing and depending and a curse, however, you know, it shakes out.
Right.
But yeah, I like privacy, but again, it's been so like beneficial for so many like artists who like have no other way of like getting their stuff out there.
You like social media?
Yeah. And now there's like all these outlets.
Right. Well, it's definitely been the most important tool Bert's had.
Yeah.
For
he's
building
great at
his business.
We were talking about
social media.
He's
a marketing genius.
Yeah, he's so good at it. And it's
genius.
Yeah, it's a skill on its own. I mean, it's its own art.
It is.
It's separate from the comedy.
100%.
Yeah.
It's his own art form. Yeah. He's making little bitty 1-minute short videos all the time. And they're always creative. They're always fun.
I'd be like, I'm exhausted.
If I had to do that one day alone.
I know. Oh God. Back in the day when we were over at the other house. Sorry, Halston. And the constant like, hey babe, just shoot this. Hey babe, I want you to take my phone and do this. And I'm gonna do this.
Oh God.
And you're gonna film this.
You'd be right in the middle of doing something too. And I'm like, that's so annoying.
I'm cooking dinner. Well, you just put it down. I just need folks to
She'd be walking outside with like her hands totally full. She's like, hold on, just stop. Can you hold this? And I'm like, I would be so mad at him. Like, I couldn't.
90% self-focused, that dude.
Thank God you're 90% not.
He's lucky he's got a 10%er.
Yeah, he really did well.
He did. I did well too. We're pretty happy.
You did. You guys are perfect for each other.
He's pretty cool.
We're pretty happy most days. I do get frustrated with him, I think, more than I let him know. Which I think is a flaw of mine. I was thinking about this last night. I was a little frustrated with him last night. And I was like, I just need to tell him what frustrates me. But sometimes, what's the saying? The rub's not worth the rub or whatever it's called.
The juice isn't worth the squeeze.
That's it. Yeah, the rub's not worth the rub,
I don't know. I think
sometimes I go, do I really want a 45-minute conversation about something that should be 5?
Exactly. I know, because then you're signing up for
45 minutes when I just really should be 5.
And would he really self-correct the next time? Because I did that in the car with Mike where I went. He was asking me, he's like, what's wrong? Tell something's wrong. And I was like, nothing. Nothing. I'm just dead inside. This is how I always am. And then we got to like Ventura. I was like, you know what's wrong? And he's like, tell me.
Yeah.
I was like, I let you work out today. I gave you 6 uninterrupted hours to yourself.
Whoa, that's a lot of
6 hours.
What the hell kind of workout was that?
It's just
it's like
a circuit training plus.
No, seriously.
CrossFit
Triathlon?
plus.
It starts with weight training, then it moves on to the treadmill, then sauna, then polar plunge, then pool, then shower.
Jesus.
It's a lot.
It's generous.
And I walked in with the kids after the most dreadful day with them, and he was like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, that's how you greet me? And then I was like, I gave you 6 hours. You didn't even thank me. It was like, it was expected.
Well, your first problem was giving him 6 hours.
Right?
Yes. How about an hour and a half?
Right?
Yeah.
2 max.
2 max.
2 max.
Cap it at 2.
You're right.
Then
so
you
then I
wouldn't
said
even
it.
ever have
and then the next time he did it, he was like, thank you for letting me work out.
That's good.
Yeah.
But it was so like, but we're
Yeah.
getting there. He was like, thank you for letting me work out. I really enjoyed it. I was like, you're welcome.
Have you been in the polar plunge?
No.
Oh.
I'm waiting for you.
Oh, we're going to
I don't really feel the need to do it, but I do have
I don't-
really bad inflammation issues. So I feel like maybe it would help. I don't know.
Huh. Do you do it?
I hate it.
Yeah.
You've done it though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I did it for 1 minute for 30 days.
You
Every
did?
day, and I was
Did you notice a difference in your body?
Nope.
That's what I want to
No.
hear.
I'll tell you what I noticed.
What?
My anxiety heightened at the thought of getting in the damn thing.
Yeah,
every
you're like,
day. I gotta get in it again.
Yeah.
It was awful. I hated it.
Do you like the sauna though?
Yeah, I love the sauna.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I don't like the
Same.
cold.
I don't need it.
I grew up in a log
Yeah.
cabin that didn't have heat. And let me tell you something. When you get in the shower and it's 32 degrees outside
Yeah.
and your house is like 40,
Yeah.
you don't want to be cold.
Yeah.
I don't want to be cold.
Yeah.
I think I was traumatized from it.
I'm sure.
Because I was like, I do not
Yeah.
want to just be freezing.
Yeah.
I remember being in my living room just freezing, just blanket. We had one fireplace,
Oh my God.
super cold. And so I think my
Wow.
body's just like, yeah, I've been
I think
there,
we're
done
good.
that.
We
Yeah.
should try it once.
You should try
I'll
it once.
do it with you.
You should have your brother help you because if you breathe a certain way, it's a lot easier.
What?
Yeah, there's like this 4 count of like breathing in a square, like where you breathe in for 4, count of 4. You hold it for a count of 4.
Breathing
Breathe out
technique.
for a count of 4.
Okay.
Hold it for a count of 4. Breathe in
I could do
4.
that.
Out 4. Hold.
Oh, could
It
you?
helps you control
I
your
could do that.
How
panic.
about you do it and I watch you?
There you go.
It's really cold.
It is really cold. You can't. I think a polar plunge is actually considered a polar plunge at like 51 degrees or something.
Which is like a pool, like
So we
most
can pour
of-
hot
It's like
water.
a winter pool. It's
Yeah,
like the
winter pool.
Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
55.
yeah,
The
yeah.
Pacific Ocean is like 55.
So it doesn't need to be. What are these polar plunges that?
Thirty-
Some of them
38?
go down to like 38.
38 degrees.
Mhm.
Ours is 38, where I'm like, that is like
Do you cover it when you're not using it?
Mhm.
Yeah. always.
Mm.
But you know what's funny? The cover on ours is getting like warped. I think
yeah.
it's so hot out.
Mhm.
Oh, you have it outside, yeah.
We put it in the bedroom.
With all your other workout equipment. Have you seen
Yes.
Mike's mirror
Oh,
thing?
it's dreadful.
No. Oh, the
The
mirror, the
tonal.
workout mirror thing.
It's not the mirror, but what is it called?
The tonal.
It's not a mirror? I thought it was the mirror on the wall. What is it?
It's a tonal
It's
thing.
a tonal. It's like a
It's like a
class that
device.
talks to you.
It's like a sex device.
It's like a sex device?
I know it looks
Only
like,
if you're just using your hands.
Yeah. It's not cute. It's an eyesore.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
The poor guy
You
that
gotta
put
get
it
out of
up.
there.
Are
You
you
gotta get out of
fucking
that
kidding me? We're filling it like a gas. I feel like you.
You're what?
We're like filling it to the brim.
Oh.
That
Is it,
house.
now do you feel my
Yes.
pain? You used to
I
come
was
over
like,
there.
there's an open wall. Put it right there.
I know. I felt like people would come over to our house and be like, I mean, it's going to explode at some point.
Yeah.
Like you're just going to burst.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff in it.
Yeah.
And I feel foolish because I go in her house and I go, this is what this house was supposed to look like.
Not
We had
anymore.
stuff in every corner, on every wall, hanging from the ceiling, like because you just run out of room.
Yeah. But you're like that, I think, across the board. Like
I'm minimal.
she's always like looks organized at least. I don't know.
She does.
Yeah.
Her house always looks
Hotel-esque is her aesthetic.
It does. It
Yeah.
is. That's
Yeah.
right. Mine is slob-esque. Because of who I live with. Slob adjacent.
Not this room.
But not this room.
Yeah.
This is how I would live my life.
Yeah.
Literally, my cleaning crew can open the back door and go, Bert's in town.
Oh, really?
Because of what it looks like from the back door. They can tell if he's home or not. And when he's not home, it stays kind of sort of like this.
Your house was decluttered for your birthday, though. It looked great.
Oh,
it doesn't look like that.
You know
anymore.
how hard that took me. It took me forever
to
get that
does
done.
it still look like that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Did you get rid of stuff?
No, I just put Bert's shit up.
Oh, nice.
I had Bert would go in our dining room and open his suitcase and just live out of it. And then when he would pack again, he wouldn't necessarily need what he needed before, and he'd just leave it in the dining room. So I've been so busy working here that he had stuff in there from January that I just haven't had time to go and put away, and he won't put away, doesn't see it, might need it, doesn't know where it goes. I mean, put it this way. We've lived in this house for 2 years, and yesterday he said, hey, where do we keep the toilet paper?
Stop it. Wait, you've only been in that house 2 years?
2 years.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like it's been
Well, it's
longer.
it's
the
been
same
3. No, it's 2. You're right, because we moved in 21.
We lived there 2 years. We've owned it for
3.
So you moved out of the other house only 2 years ago?
Mhm.
Oh, how crazy. I feel
In
like
July
I feel
2021.
Like you've been there so much longer. Do you feel like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like you've been there like 4 years.
It feels that way too.
Does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been there
it feels
too.
like you've been there.
I know, and it's so funny. We had people over yesterday and a bunch of kids, and they were like, where'd they go? And they're like, oh, one of the dads was like, oh, they went to go look at a house. They're like, wait, what's going to happen to this one? People just love that house.
It's such a great house.
Such a great house, and you don't feel like nervous.
This
to
one's
live
gonna
in
get
it,
blown
you know?
up.
Yeah,
Right.
you don't feel nervous to live in it. Where all these homes we're looking at, I'm like, it's not going to look like this, and there's going to be wet kids running around. Like, I don't want to move into a house that's like you're nervous to live in it, you know. And so far, that's all I've seen.
No, you won't.
But I you know, or maybe you just break it in and just go.
It is what it is.
You're just making excuses.
Well, definitely,
No,
our little house you live in is so perfect
great.
for kids, perfect for young kids. You can't hurt that house. There's
can't.
nothing you can do to it that will hurt it. It's just
Come at me.
indestructible. Come at me, man.
Yeah.
That house is like, give me your best shot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I had
What can't I do?
you know how many bull mastiffs are living
Yeah, I
here? 3. I think we got it covered.
You got to come over and see their new beds.
I heard. How's Lola doing in her bed?
Fun.
Yeah.
She's getting there.
Is she getting up?
Getting there. Yeah. Well, we switched the handle
Oh, so
on
she
the
can't
Dutch
get
door
out.
to like
Smart.
lock it.
On the outside. Yeah.
And on Saturday night, Mimi put her down, and we were like, I hear at like 1:30. I was like, that's not a dog. And sure enough, she pops up next to me. She's like, hey, guess what? I was like,
She figured
"What?"
out how to get out.
She's like, my door works again. I was like, it does. And then took her back. And then Mike like kind of, wrangled her in the room. And then he forgot to lock the door. And I'm like, okay, so you have to lock the door with her, but she's not bad.
That's good.
She's not bad. And Ted loves being in a normal bed.
He does.
Oh my God.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's
So we're ready for school tomorrow.
What's the
Oh,
hardest
starts
part
tomorrow?
about
Starts tomorrow.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that is exciting.
What's the
Yeah.
hardest part about being a parent?
Oh, Jesus. Being a parent. It does not come naturally for me, so I can just leave it there, being a parent.
Why? What do you mean?
It just doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't.
Wait, what? You're very loving.
I'm loving. I'm fun.
Yeah.
The non-committal in you does not want to like.
But I think I have grown accustomed to doing certain things in my daily routine that lower my anxiety, and playing with children is not one of them. It's like cleaning and organizing, that kind of stuff, so that when I have to shelf that for like 3 days in a row for a long weekend, I kind of unravel towards the end.
Interesting.
I wish I had that patient gene in me that goes, let's sit on the floor and play. Don't
have that.
My thoughts run wild when I do that. And I go, I wish I could slow down and enjoy this, because I know I'm going to look back and regret that I didn't.
Right.
You will, though. I feel like once your youngest is 4,
I could hang out with Ted all day long.
I think
I have fun with him.
Even
it's hard with
like
littles.
in the next year with Lola, like you're gonna be like, oh, it's so sweet. There's a sweet spot, and then you don't want them to get older. You want to like hold on to it because then you see like it does go so fast, and you will enjoy it. She's still in a kind of a hard, labor intensive zone.
I agree.
think.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, and then the only thing you have to reference of like, why do I feel so alone? You go onto Instagram and it's like people that are like, watch me do a haircut on all 4 kids. Or like, like these Uber moms that I go, the hell?
That's not you. That will never be.
That's not me.
Yeah, no.
But it's hard to see that when you go to take a minute to yourself and you see that and you go, wow, all these people are crushing it. And I feel like I am being crushed in the moment of parenting. But I also feel like Lola's a hard age for me. Ted was a hard age at that age.
Yeah. But it's so quick, and
I know.
And I feel like it's so soon. You're gonna like. I think you're really gonna like be into it soon.
Yeah, Lola's like in the thick of meltdowns, like horrible meltdowns where I go, fuck.
Well, it's the terrible 2s and the F and 3s.
We are deep in the F and 3s.
Yeah. Not all kids have the F and 3s.
No.
Some kids have one or the other, and some kids have both.
Yeah.
But
I don't
we
know.
always called it the F and 3s.
They're all of my kids were different, but I think the hardest thing for me is just not having as much alone time as you had, before, and not having as much time with Duran, my husband. Like I feel like that takes a toll, and you really have to like make an effort and like be conscious of like trying to make that time. And sometimes it feels so contrived, like when you're like, we are going to spend time together. But that I think is the hardest part.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like surmountable for sure, and totally worth it. Like it's definitely worth the the hard parts. But I would say that, and then maybe not getting all the sleep you want.
Right.
Yeah.
Ugh.
What do you think it was for you, or is it still hard for you?
The hardest part about parenting for me has been, I guess, finding time for myself.
Yeah.
I loved getting in the floor and playing with my kids. I could build Legos all
you do
day
it with mine.
long. I love connecting with little kids.
Yeah.
I remember being 20 and my cousin had a son when he was only, I think 18 or so.
Oh, whoa.
And I remember taking his kid and like just going to the drugstore with the kid and just walking around with him and talking to him. He was like 2 or 3. I've always loved kids.
I could totally see that.
I never thought I'd have kids.
You're very warm.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, the hardest part for me, I think, is
why do you think you never have kids?
I don't have a good talk about modeling. I don't. My dad's a great dad. My mom probably shouldn't have had kids.
Yeah.
She only had me.
Yeah.
And she was divorced 6 times. My dad's divorced twice. And I didn't really have any kind of modeling for happy marriage anywhere. I have people who have been married a long time, but when I was a child, my aunt and uncle I stayed with a lot fought a lot. And then another aunt and uncle I almost never saw. And I was just like, yeah, I don't think that all my grandparents were like borderline hated each other, but stayed together.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I don't know if I wanted to get married, but I really didn't know how to do that.
Yeah.
And then a lot of parenting, I understood that parenting is modeled to you. And I had a good model in my dad for a lot of it, but I didn't live with him. I lived with my mom.
Yeah.
And that was just a disaster as far as like autonomy, even like seeing a child as who that person is, separate from you, separate from their sibling, separate from their parent. And who is that person? That was not available to me in my household.
But don't you think that, like, yes, I think what's modeled for you becomes like innately a part of your, like, sensibility. But then I also think you're like the exact opposite of that. I mean, you're so empathetic. I mean, I feel like you are nothing like what you're describing. So I don't know. Do you feel like you had it in you, or you just felt like I don't want to perpetuate like having to deal with like a child, like, Well,
I think I'm more like my dad in the parenting vein.
Yeah.
But I just was like, well, I don't know how to be married.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be a single parent.
Yeah.
I don't have this like undying need
Yeah.
to have a child. I was never that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't either. But then when I found the right person, then I was like, I always like, oh, I'll have kids. But then like, I wasn't like obsessed with the thought of it until I met the right person.
Oh, I got pregnant on the pill. So
your body was like, we are having kids.
Exactly. The good Lord went and boom. And I was like, well, I guess this is what we're doing now.
That's crazy.
Okay. I mean, we'd been together a year, a little over a year. So, and at that age, at 33, you're kind of like, I've been to this rodeo once or twice. I kind of know he's, a light just
He's like, you guys are cut off.
Are you cutting us off, Halston?
No, something must have happened.
Is that a sign that we should end? Because Sam's in the dark.
It's fine. I'm always in the dark emotionally. I'm just kidding.
Is that bad? What should we do, Halston?
I have to go up into the attic to fix that.
So why don't we just wrap it up?
We can be done.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
But
basically, you were just saying that you had been together a year and a half. And did you feel like in your heart of hearts, though, you knew like that was like the right thing?
I think that I have a great deal of faith without being religious.
Yeah.
And I believe when stuff like that happens, that's what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
I believe now that if we had decided to get married and decided to have kids, I would have second guessed a lot of this
overthought it. Yeah.
Because this path was not easy.
Yeah.
I was a single parent a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And I think if it had been chosen.
And you had time to like really.
Yep. I would have been like, what are you doing to yourself?
Yeah.
And why did you do that?
Yeah.
But because it happened the way it did, I never had a doubt ever that I was with the right person and that I was doing the right thing.
Yeah.
That's what was meant for me because I wasn't sloppy with my birth control. I'd been on birth control for years. I'd never had a problem.
Yeah.
I was on the pill. I had some weird hormonal shift. Or Bert has super sperm or something. But it wasn't, to me, that was divine.
Yeah.
And so
that's cool.
who am I to dispute that?
Yeah. I love that though.
So I think it was really a gift.
Yeah, for sure. It's better when you don't have to like even think that hard about it. You're just like, this is what's meant to be.
Yeah. For me, it was the way it needed to happen for me.
Yeah.
Not for everybody, but for me, I think I just went, okay, well, this is where I'm supposed to go. So the writing is not supposed to happen now. And this is what's supposed to be happening now because I will not have my kid feel the way I felt growing up.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I will not do that.
Yeah.
So if this was put in my lap, then this is what we're doing. And we're doing it to the best of my ability.
Yeah. I mean, I share that sentiment with you in the same way because I didn't I've always been like, independent and relatively ambitious, but like I didn't anticipate, needing to be completely all in with my kids. Like, and I felt like, oh, I'll have all these side things. And then when I really like, soul searched about it, it was like that, like, I just want to be all in with them until there's that space.
Yeah. Until there's it's such a short period of time.
Yeah.
Now that I have a sophomore in college and a senior in high school, crazy. I feel like it was almost overnight.
Yeah.
Like
really?
I know.
I swear to you.
Yeah.
I feel like it was almost overnight. And the good thing about it is we have this next chapter to look forward to as a parent, which is so much longer than these 20 years. Hopefully I'm going to be here. I'm 53. Hopefully I'm here for 30, maybe 35 years. And I'll have that much longer with my kids. 85, 88, something like that.
Not.
That's 88. Bob Barker went to 99. I think you're good.
I thought she was really going under. She could have.
I thought I was going under too. Thank you.
Yeah.
But then I go, well, that's exciting. And then I've talked about this. Bert and I podcasted about this last week. But I really started kind of dating Bert again.
Yeah.
I like shifted.
Oh yeah.
Not date night, but dating.
Yeah.
And I'm having so much fun doing that I'm like, if that's the next 30 years, then that's going to be really great.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to, when I really drill down and think about when we were living in the house you're living in and we were walking the kids to the elementary school and we had these 3 other families that we spent Friday, Saturday, and Sunday every single weekend for 4 years together.
Yeah.
That was an intense period. Ta-da!
Yeah.
That was an intense period of joy and togetherness and family. And we'll never have that again. Not ever. Because it's just not possible. It's just
your kids
a
don't
moment in
love you
time.
anymore.
That's exactly right. But then we shouldn't have that again.
Yeah.
To expect that would be forever would be ridiculous.
No, of course. It just moves on to
something else.
It's
something else. Now we spend more time with your kids. Now we're going to Red Rocks and you're coming with us, and now we're going vacationing for Bert's birthday, and we're inviting another couple. See if they come.
Yeah,
it's just different.
I was saying we're renovating a little bit now, and I was like saying that like renovating is like having like a baby, like a small baby, where you're like have like selective amnesia. Like after like a few years after you renovate, you're like, it was so easy. It was 2 seconds long, but when you're in it, it's like fucking eternity.
It's exactly right.
It's just like with the baby, you're like, and then you'll look back and be like, that happened.
Yeah. What was so hard about that?
That was like 2 seconds long.
Yeah.
It's 2 seconds long.
You're literally so close to being out of that phase.
I know.
And you're gonna be like.
And then when I get like memories of Lola at like 1
from last month,
from last month, I'm like, oh, that's sad. Like I'll never have that again. But then she's just in such a hard age right now that it's like, it's trying.
Let's move through this, right?
Yep.
Let's move on to the next phase. Well, you're about to be in the sweet spot.
Yeah.
The sweet spot is like kindergarten till middle school.
Until they hate you. Like Luca's like, you're not cool.
So I lost part of my toenail in here.
Oh my God, you have.
Funny,
and on that note,
thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming. Tell me the name of your podcast so people can find it.
Oh yeah, Don't Worry About It is the name of our podcast.
And where can they find it?
You can find it on Spotify, Apple, and wherever else you go looking for podcasts.
there you go.
Yeah,
you're good at that.
Don't worry about it.
Thanks,
I love it. Thanks for
Right.
coming today. It was great to see you guys.
You too.
And hang out.
Thank you for inviting
fun.
us to your Zen den.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll be
so
back.
glad
We
you
might just
came.
be chilling in your. When you
If I get
interview your
COVID,
next-
I'm going to move in here.
I know that's
Nice.
a sleeper sofa. Bert naps on it all the
Perfect.
time. It's really comfy.
Perfect.
It's awesome.
All right. Thank you guys.
All right.